Hello, number ones, and welcome to Metatron's Academy. And ooh, Esperanto, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so what we've got here is a new language review, Esperanto, dropped by Language Simp, and I know that you guys love me reacting to these, so I'm gonna do that. But of course, as I always do, I never react to the entire video, so I will be skipping a big chunk here to encourage you to go and check him out, finish the video in the original channel that actually put in the work. And also, I will be putting a link in the description and as a pinned comment to his channel, so go leave him some engagement, a comment, a like, and subscribe. With that being said, alright, hit me with the comedy, let's go. Esperanto.
Saluton, kai bonvenon al mia kanalo. Mia nomo estas lingvo simpo, kai mi estas el Usono. Hodiaŭ ni enprofundiĝos en Esperanto, otherwise formerly known as Ronto, Cringian, Europeanese, fake discount Mexican, or communist cult language. This is the 14th episode of Language Review, a series where I go through the languages of the world and review them, sort of like a film critic or a video game reviewer, but for languages. I'll discuss the language in detail, and then at the end of the video, I'll give it an official Language Simp certified rating on the Simp scale.
Okay guys, so as we always do, last time we did the Dutch and I predicted it perfectly. I knew he was gonna put it in beta and he did. Where is he gonna put Esperanto? My prediction is dog water, because I think, if I remember correctly, that he doesn't like Esperanto, but we'll see. I might be wrong. My prediction is still dog water. That's what he's gonna do.
If you enjoy this video, let me know which language you would like me to review next in the comments, and without
Sicilian. Do Sicilian if you're there.
further ado, Doek. I want to learn Esperanto so bad. I heard it'll help me get a job, and Esperantists are so hot. Esperanto is spoken mainly on Esperanto Island, which is a massive piece of land located just off the coast of Antarctica. There they have beautiful beaches and mountains, exquisite food, green penguins, and a ton of culture to experience. Wait, where are the NPCs? I don't see any people. There are no people. This might shock you, but Esperanto is not real. Esperanto Island is just a tiny rock in the Antarctic Circle. Believe it or not,
Ooh, I'm so looking forward to EvilDea responding to this. EvilDea is another creator. I'll put a couple of links to his videos, and he does speak Esperanto, and he's gonna explode. He's gonna have a stroke.
there's actually no Esperanto-speaking country, and that's because Esperanto is a constructed language, or conlang for short, meaning it didn't naturally develop over the course of human history in a specific place like
Initially, sure. I mean, now there are speakers of it, but yeah.
real languages such as Inuktitut. Instead, it was invented by an ambitious Polish eye doctor in the late 19th century. Ugh, don't you hate when you're at the eye doctor and your optometrist starts frickin' making conlangs instead of fixing your crooked eyes? Anyway, this guy, L.L. Zamenhof, invented Esperanto in 1887 with the goal of creating the international language to facilitate communication with people of all nationalities and create world peace. And it
Also known as English, maybe in a few centuries Mandarin. Back in the day it was Latin though. Latin was great.
worked! In June 2025, everyone speaks Esperanto. The language successfully bridged all the gaps between cultures, we no longer have wars, and there is peace on Earth both domestically and abroad.
Right.
Crap, it didn't work, did it? There actually was one utopian country named the Republic of Rose Island, which used Esperanto as its official language. But it was just a platform floating off the coast of Italy with a handful of NPCs living there. And tragically, it only lasted less than 2 months before the Italian Navy violated its sovereignty by invading it. And then they bombed it twice, even though the president's dog was still there. What the heck, Italy? So the truth is that in 2025, not a whole lot of NPCs speak Esperanto, and people estimate that there are anywhere between 30,000 and 2 million speakers of the language worldwide. Wait a second, how the heck is the estimated range that big? Probably because most Esperanto speakers are Reddit mods, Discord mods, or Duolingo forum grinders who hide in their basements.
Duolingo forum grinders. Hey, I'll take a Duolingo forum grinder over any subredditor. Hands down.
However, Esperantists surprisingly leave their dungeons rather frequently. Ever since 1905, they have their yearly World Esperanto Congress, which is like an anime convention for people who are weebs for Europe instead of Japan. And there's a rumor that a lot of, premarital goes on at these things in groups. But to be fair, Esperantists are the most attractive nationality, so can you really blame them? Truthfully,
Present everything, yeah.
Esperantism is kinda a cult. Its adherents are very obsessive, communal, communist, and they smile a little too much for my liking. And they have vast communist networks of couch surfing, where if you're an Esperantist, you can go squat at another Esperantist's house and destroy their toilet for free anywhere in the world at any time. There are also approximately 1,000 victims. I mean...
Hey, I use... Oh, he called them victims. Oh my gosh, I was about to say I used this B-roll, he got it from Storyblocks.
Native Esperanto speakers whose parents indoctrinated them and spoke to them exclusively in the language from the moment of conception. Imagine one day realizing that the language you think in isn't even real. The most notable native Esperantists...
Technically it is real once people actually learn it as a native language, even though it may have been constructed artificially before. But yeah, I mean, sure.
Is George Soros, one of the biggest donors to the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016. Make of that what you will. But as much as I make fun of it, Esperanto is spoken by a strong community of passionate language learners, many of whom I've met personally and really like. They are good people with good intentions who have done awesome things for the language learning community as a whole, and I can't help but respect them for it.
Goodness gracious, the polyglot gathering. How many of these are hyper polyglots though? Because I mean, polyglots these days, it's just, and it's nothing. It's nothing. Like polyglot? Nah. You got at least hyper polyglot if you want to speak to me.
Regardless of how misguided I find the whole Esperanto movement. But with barely any NPCs speaking it spread out thinly all around the world, learning Esperanto will unlock you literally no DLC. It is a certified waste of time. Now let's talk about the various dialects of the Esperanto language. That was all of them. There are none because there are 0 countries where this language is spoken. I don't know about...
Yeah, of course. I mean, if there is no regional variety, then you can't... Because again, there is the lack of the organic, natural evolution of the language. I guess if a country adopted it, then we would have the birth of dialects. At the moment, the only variety would be the natural pronunciation matrix brought in by the speaker. Right? So if you're a German, if you're an Italian, if you're a French, if you're an American, if you're an Arabic speaker, I suppose as you're learning Esperanto, you will transfer some of that into the language. There is a common area of reference for pronunciation as far as I know, although then again, I don't know much about Esperanto, I never was interested in it, but it's just one of those things anyways. Yeah, this is satire, so...
But when I learn a language, I really look forward to visiting a country so I can shock locals. So if you're an alpha who's learning a real language, you should check out Saley, who I'd like to thank for sponsoring this video.
Take that bag of money, my friend. Now where is my skip button?
Saley is a new eSIM service app that offers you several affordable eSIM plans and over 200 DLCs. To go through my carrier for Dave that Tokipona is a much better all-around conlang with real potential to take over the world. Let me know if you want me to review Tokipona, but at least for now, I say we all just keep speaking American. If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting me.
It skipped the entire video? What happened there? What has happened? I don't know what happened. Skip the entire video. Anyway, what else have we got? Usually he names the subchapters. This is the... Maybe this is pronunciation. Let me see. All right, well, let me check this section here then. Let's go.
Some people long ago actually tried to reform the writing system to make it easier by removing the diacritics, which spawned a new conlang in 1907 based on Esperanto known as Edo. Yes, there are, funnily enough, conlangs that are based on the conlang Esperanto. And they're called Esperantitos, which sound like a really tasty gas station snack that was imported from Mexico. Some notable Esperantitos are Sassare, Mundo Linko, German, and I kid you you not, Esperanto 2. I promise you that I will be waiting outside camping in a tent for the midnight release of Esperanto 3. But the most interesting Esperanto derivative by a long shot is Polyespo, which added Cherokee words and 3 tones for some reason. But that one didn't last long because the guy who made it got put on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. But
ooh, they arrested him. I guess not. Well, most wanted. I don't know if he got arrested. That looked like, yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
despite all that, for what it's worth, Esperanto is phonetic and the stress on words is regular. It also has no tone.
Which is most likely part of the artificial nature of it. At least that's one of the advantages, I guess, of being able to produce a artificial language, is that you can make it stick into the rules as possible with the most insignificant number of exceptions. I mean, you could do that. In fact, that would be the whole point, to make it very simple to learn, right? That would be the idea. That, and also I imagine a high number of common stems and roots to words from different languages, so that it would be easy to learn from both the Germanic and the Romance family groups. I suppose that would be the idea. But then again, the previous guy, the FBI guy, adding tones is like, you're out of your mind. Why are you adding tones? You're making it more difficult, then it kind of makes it all useless at this point.
Nor crazy hard sounds.
Might as well learn Elvish while you're at it. In fact, you know what? I think for me, since I'm not interested in Esperanto whatsoever, if someone told me you either learn Esperanto or Elvish from Tolkien, I would go for Elvish.
To make like ein, ka, ui, or there are technically only 5 vowel sounds, which is nice, but
A, E, I, O, U. Yeah, that makes it very simple.
they're the exact vowels found in Greek and Spanish, which means that people from Greece and Honduras are gonna have quite the unfair advantage. And Esperanto has a bunch of diphthongs, which again might be a little too complicated for a lot of people depending on their native language. But the real racism, I mean Eurocentrism, is in the consonants. They have consonant clusters, the zh sound, and even a freaking rolled R for—
How dare you? Rolled R? That's racist. You don't roll your R. What the heck are you doing?
for crying out loud. These are all infamously difficult for East Asian language speakers to pronounce. I'm not attributing motive to anyone or anything, but if I were to make an international conlang, I certainly wouldn't make it particularly hard for East Asians. No. I'd make it hard for Dutch people because they're too good at English and they heightmog me. Even if you can't beat them in height, you could learn more languages than Dutch people once you've read my ebook, The Hyperpolyglot Handbook, which you can buy right now at languagesimp.com.
Buy it at languagesimp.com. I'll put a link in my description too. I don't know if it's going to generate some sales for him, but I think it's the least I can do since it's, I mean, I'm reacting to his video. I just want to do what I can. All right, I'm going to skip all of this. 30 cases. Are you joking? Ooh, you gotta watch them. Let's go for shock factor. Let's go.
Human being. Now it's time to talk about shock factor.
Please.
How will native Esperanto speakers react to you speaking their language as a foreigner? Well, there are only about 1,000 Esperanto natives in the universe, so if you happen to find one in the wild, coat my ears in jelly and tie me to the anthill. But if you do find an Esperanto native and you speak Esperanto to them, they're gonna be pissed. They'll have a traumatic flashback to their childhood when their parents forced them to speak some communist fake green European slop, which caused them to be an outcast among their peers, and now they're a hugless virgin, so they'll hit you and Naruto run away. Other non-native Esperantists will—
Oh, EvilDea! EvilDea mention! That face.
will, of course, love that you speak it because now you're in the cult and they can sleep on your couch for free. But yeah, you will never shock anyone with this language. In fact, I think it has negative shocking potential. If you tell me that you're learning Esperanto, I'm gonna cringe a little, and I know I'm not alone with that.
Okay, wait. You showed EvilDea. Did you put a link? Did you put a link to his channel? Come on. Come on, learn how to learn a language. Oh, come on, man. You showed his face. You didn't put a link to his channel. That's not right. Okay, guys, I'll put a link to EvilDea's channel. I had already promised it. I'll put a link to EvilDea's channel. That's that. I did not appreciate that one, language simp. Come on. You show a face of a YouTuber, you've got to put the link.
Learn a real language. American is the global language for a good reason. Everyone loves the US, so it makes sense that we're a pretty neutral place to host the global language. And seriously, for the love of God, Todd, don't learn Esperanto. You're from New Mexico. You live right next to the Mexican border. You should be learning Uzbek. Now it's time to give Esperanto an official Language Simp certified rating on the Simp scale. On a scale of dog water to Giga Chad, I place Esperanto rather generously in the alpha tier.
Oh, come on. What are you on about? Come on. Okay. So, he's gonna say he's joking. He's gonna say he's joking.
Despite its many flaws, I firmly believe that Esperanto is the greatest attempt to create a global, I'm just kidding, dog water.
I told you. Man, when a man is convinced, you have to keep the stance. You have to stand for what you believe in. This is the message of this video, by the way. Stand for what you believe in, even if there is controversial attacks towards you. Like, man, he said alpha. No, he didn't. He said dog water. I knew it.
I don't like Esperanto. I have and will continue to learn Romance languages, but a fake one that unlocks 0 real DLC is of no interest to me. And the idea that it would be a good international language is ludicrous. Pushing Eurocentrism on the entire world just feels like an extension of colonial times which were racist and cringe.
Well, at this point then, so is English. Because it originated in Europe, mate.
The language is pretty easy to learn, I guess, since it's so logically designed by my favorite Polish eye doctor, but it still could be simplified.
The eye doctor looks great, though. Look at his style. This guy has got style. Where is he? Where is the A?
Since it's so logically designed by my favorite...
Come on, look at this guy. Look at the style. Look at the mustache, the glasses, the empty eye look. Looking great, classy. Man, what is it with people and the way they dressed back in the day? It's so much better than the way I'm dressing right now.
Polish eye doctor, but it still could be simplified a bit more. And it certainly could be made more accessible for, you know, non-European language speakers most of the frickin' world. I think where Esperanto shines, however, is in its ability to foster a large community of very passionate language learners from all around the world who all believe in linguistic communism.
I'm also waiting. I know I know it's satire. So I am still speaking tongue-in-cheek, but I'm waiting for you to make the English less racist than towards East Asians and remove the TH. In fact, not just East Asians. It was a problem for me to learn the TH, the interdental fricative.
And Esperanto has historically been suppressed in places like Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. So the survival of the language throughout the years and the large number of passionate speakers in 2025 are remarkable and inspiring. But I personally believe that Toki Pona is a much better all-around...
Why does that remind me of Best Buy? Anyway, guys, this is the reaction. Anyways, guys, this is the reaction. I have to say it was funny, as usual. I always find these funny. What I did not find funny is that you didn't mention my good friend EvilDea. So, as again, I'll do it. Let's go give him support. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for my next daily upload. Thank you for joining Metatron's Academy. Ciao, ciao, ciao.